Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life. I'll go first. 2 years ago, I was walking my dog at the park, and a man approached me and asked to take a picture of her. And I said yes, because why not? It's a picture of a dog. So he started taking a picture of my dog, and then I realized that he was like holding up her collar, and then it hit me. My address is on that collar. He's not taking a picture of my dog. He's taking a picture of my address. So I told him that I actually didn't feel comfortable with him having a picture of my dog, and I asked him to delete it. So he deletes it and then like starts walking away really fast. And I was like, "Excuse me, sir. No, could you also go into your deleted album and delete it from there?" And he goes, "I don't have a deleted album." And I was like, "You have an iPhone. Everybody has a deleted album. Could you please delete the picture?" And he was like, "Sorry, I don't have a deleted album," and like keeps walking away. And keep in mind, this is like 2 p.m. in a park. Like there's other people around. So now I'm like chasing after him and I'm telling him, "Sir, I know you have the album. I will show you where the album is. Can you please go onto your phone so that we can delete the picture?" Oh, part two. I'm sorry for the delay. So I'm still chasing after him, and people at the park are like starting to look at us now because I'm chasing after him and I'm telling him to stop walking. And so he stops, and I tell him again to delete the photo from the deleted album, and he goes, "I don't have a deleted album." And I was like, "Yes, you do. Everybody does. It'll take 10 seconds. And he goes, "Fine." And he like goes on his phone, does something for a second. He goes, "There, it's gone." And I was like, "Could I see the deleted album just to make sure it's gone?" And he goes, "No, you can't look at my phone." And I was like, "I don't want to look at your phone. I just want to see the album just to make sure the picture is gone. That's it." And he goes, "No, you're not going to look at my phone." And I was like, "Sir, I'm not going to stop and I'm not going to leave until you show me the album. So please just show me the album so we can be done with this." So he shows me the album. The picture was still there. So I made him delete it in front of my eyes. What if I hadn't noticed that he took a picture of my address? And what if I went home that day and, that night when I took my dog out to pee, he was outside waiting for me? I mean...
Okay, I had to mentally prepare myself to tell the story. But I was ditched at a party, walked home, bad decision, walked through an alley. And I noticed that it was a very long alley. And I noticed this guy trailing behind me. I paid no never mind to it. I was drunk and I was heading home. And then before I knew it, his hand was over my mouth and a sharp object on my side. And he really pushed it really hard into my side, and I knew it was a knife. And he said, "Don't fucking scream or I'm gonna fucking kill you." And then he starts grabbing me all over on my breast and my groin, and he was trying to take off my pants. So all of a sudden there was this voice in my head that says, "Act like you're liking it. Act like you're liking it." So that's what I did. I act like I liked it. And then he just miraculously, he quit. And he freaking walked me home. Like, so yeah, part two. I should have said that at my first one. But anyways, I'll leave it in the comments. And I pretended like I liked it. And he miraculously quit. He stopped what he was doing. It was almost like he came to his senses. And he started talking to me. And I was still really drunk. And he started asking me, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going home." And he goes, "Oh, well, I'll walk you the rest of the way home." And at that point, I knew he still had a knife. And I knew I'm pretty sure he was capable of fucking using it. And I was so scared. And I said, "Okay, I just live over here." So he walked me home all the way to my freaking door. And I was so scared because he knew where I lived. But I never saw him after that. Thank God.
So I had just gotten stationed up in Washington State at a squadron. I didn't know many people, and I was getting hazed at the squadron. A woman scorned, who knew? And I met this guy. He seemed harmless enough, thought he could be a good friend, and he invited me to go 4-bying out in the woods. I was raised in Missouri. I love 4-bying, so I was like, hell yeah, let's go. We went to this ORV park called Reeder Pit. There was a group of us having a good time, going 4-bying in his rock crawler. And it got dark and we started a fire. And he asked me if I wanted to go for a ride with him in the moonlight. Me being the idiot that I am, I was like, yeah, let's do it. We were riding around having a good time and we stopped at a river. And he was like, "Man, I gotta piss." I was like, all right. So I got out to go look at the river in the moonlight and he went off into the woods to go piss. After a while, he wasn't answering. And I'm looking around and I can't see him anywhere. I started getting that eerie feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I heard a crack of a stick in the woods. I called out his name again. I said, "This is not funny." I could hear him chuckle and then go silent again. At that moment, I knew in my gut he wasn't fucking around. And this was going to go very badly if I didn't do something. And that's when my SEER training kicked in. I got out of the way of the headlights of the rock crawler, let my eyes adjust to the moonlight so I could see better. I crouched down, got really quiet. I could hear him moving. I could tell that he couldn't see me anymore and he didn't know where I was. But he still was being really stealthy. So I began to be stealthy as well. At this point, the hair on my neck is standing up. The adrenaline is running through my body. It's all tingly. And then he said, this can go one of two ways, which that threat told me he was very serious. And then I thought, it's either me or him. So I grabbed a rock and I yelled as loud as I could. I've already been through this. I've already been raped. And I promised myself one thing, that if someone tried to do this to me, I would either kill them or they would have to kill me. I said, I'm ready to die tonight. Are you? And it got real quiet. And then he came out of the woods and said, I was just joking, God.
Ooh boy, this one's a doozy. In college, I went to a party with my best friend. It was in an apartment building on the second floor. This is gonna be important in a minute. She met up with her boyfriend there. I met up with a guy that I was literally just dating. Like, I think I had been on one date with him previously. And he started drinking a few beers and he was getting really handsy and it was making me really uncomfortable. Like, he was forcing me to sit in his lap. Like, he was yanking me down by my arm, forcing me to sit in his lap. And he was getting increasingly hostile and angry as the night went on. I knew he was not gonna let me leave and nobody at the party was paying very much attention to how disgusting and weird he was being. So I grabbed my best friend and went out on the balcony with her. I told him that we were gonna go have girl talk for a minute. I quite literally said to her, hold my beer. I climbed over the side of the balcony and I jumped off the balcony onto a patch of grass below and ran to my car. Y'all.
So I used to dog sit this dog who was like really well trained. The simple stuff, you know, stay, heel, sit, lie down, roll over, play dead, whatever. But he also had an attack command. So I'm dog sitting. I was staying over at that house because they were out of town for a while. It's 3 a.m. I'm asleep. And I wake up to hearing the dog growling. So I sit up and I like look around and then I hear the door handle jiggle. And I was like, oh no. And then I hear the window rattle. So I throw myself out of bed. I open the kennel for the dog. I get him by the collar and I go into the living room. And I just kind of announced like, there's a dog. I heard the window start to slide open. So I said it again. I was like, there's a dog. I turn on the lights. I see just a dude in the fucking window. So I give this dog the attack command, let go of his collar. He goes flying across the room. And I have never heard a grown man scream like that before. It was horrifying.
My ex-boyfriend and I had just been on a date and it was our second date and he took me all the way home on like buses, trains. We just wanted to hang out basically. That's what we were doing. So we'd got on this bus which was going to take me to a station that was near where I live. As we get off the last bus, there was a guy waiting at the bus stop and he had a t-shirt over his face, right? So you could just kind of see his eyes, but it was like wrapped around his head. Me being me was like, oh hi, by the way, this was the last bus. There's not going to be another bus after this, so maybe you want to find an alternative way to get home. He was like, okay, thank you, whatever, but stayed at the bus stop where me and my ex-boyfriend were ordering our Ubers home. He was going back to his house, I was going back to my house. And I did think it was kind of weird that he was just still waiting around, that he hadn't, like, made any effort to, like, get himself home. He just stayed at the bus stop with us. My ex-boyfriend's cab came a minute before mine, so I was like, just get in it, it's fine, it's a minute, like, who cares? You've come all this way with me, just get in your cab. I have to do a part 2.
Okay, so it wasn't my life, it was another girl's, but honestly, this shit was wild. So this was when I was back in college, and I remember I was with like a group of friends and we were bar hopping, so we were like walking around neighborhoods and stuff, and then all of a sudden I hear someone behind me like running. I think it's a dude because I'm paranoid as fuck because we have to be, we're women, and I turn around and I realize it's a girl. For some reason, I just like had this gut feeling that like something was horribly wrong, so I snatched her by her arm and I went, oh my god, hey girl, I've been looking for you all night, like where have you been? You know, like pretending I knew her. This poor thing with tears in her eyes looks at me and goes, dude, I was hooking up with this guy and I really didn't want to, and then he went to go grab a condom and I didn't know what to do, so I jumped out the window and just started running. I walked that girl 5 miles home and tucked her into her bed in her dorm safe and fucking sound. Pussy power, ladies. Make sure we're protecting each other out here, okay?
Well, unfortunately, I feel like I've had to save my life multiple times, but luckily I am a quick thinker in bad situations. So this particular time I was on vacation in 8th grade with my friend Michelle, and we were on an island that has no bridge, so you can only get there by boat or helicopter. When people are there, they mostly drive golf carts. You just rent golf carts, and very few people have cars. It's only the people that like live there full time, which is like very few people. And there's only a cop on the island once a week. So we're driving back to my house at like 9 o'clock at night. It's like pitch black out. And we end up driving past a stereotypical creepy white van with no windows in the back and tinted windows in the front. And it drives very slowly past us, and we start to get like a little bad feeling. We keep driving, and then we look back and we see this car trying to turn around to follow us. So in this time that's trying to turn around on this small road, I turn off the lights on the golf cart. So it's like pitch black, couldn't see anything, but luckily I've been going to this island since I was literally an infant, so I knew it very well. Drove the rest of the way home with no lights on, and I see the creepy white van trying to like look for us and driving super slowly, but it can't find us. Gotta turn the lights off.